In every home, there are invisible forces that influence our lives in ways we often don't see or understand. These forces can either build up or tear down the foundation of our family, depending on the choices we make. The family, as a core institution, is constantly under attack from unseen influences, and many times we don't recognize them until it's too late. Ellen G. White, a prominent spiritual leader, warned about the dangers of letting external forces take control of our lives, especially when it comes to our homes and families. She emphasized that there are subtle influences, often unnoticed, that can have devastating effects if left unchecked. In our modern world, this invisible control has become even more pervasive, infiltrating our minds and homes through media, social pressure, and even religious leaders who may not fully understand the consequences of their actions. The key to protecting our homes lies in awareness and vigilance. It's important that we recognize the error that can destroy our homes and address it before it becomes too deeply ingrained in our lives. Ellen G. White often spoke of how the world around us has the power to subtly influence our thoughts and actions, often leading us astray. In today's world, this influence is more present than ever, largely due to the growth of media, technology, and social pressures. These forces, though invisible, shape the way we think, interact, and even raise our children. One of the greatest dangers is the way modern society promotes values and lifestyles that are contrary to the teachings of the Bible. Through television, movies, social media, and advertising, we are exposed to messages that encourage materialism, selfishness, and the erosion of traditional family values. These messages infiltrate our homes, sometimes without us even realizing it, and begin to influence our priorities, our relationships, and even our faith. Pastors and spiritual leaders often warn against the dangers of worldly influences, but the subtlety with which these forces work can often be ignored. The constant exposure to negative influences, even through seemingly harmless means like entertainment or social interactions, can subtly undermine the strength of the home and family unit. Ellen G. White spoke about how important it is for families to build their homes on a strong spiritual foundation, one that is not shaken by the ever-changing values of the world around us. If we fail to recognize and address these influences, we risk allowing them to control the direction of our lives and the well-being of our homes. The error that destroys homes is not always immediately obvious. It often manifests in ways that seem harmless or even beneficial at first, but over time it erodes the foundation of a family's spiritual and emotional well-being. Ellen G. White warned about the dangers of neglecting the spiritual aspects of family life and how easily the devil can use distractions and worldly pleasures to pull us away from our true purpose and calling. One of the greatest errors that can destroy a home is the neglect of daily spiritual practices. Families may become so caught up in the busyness of life that they forget to nurture their spiritual connection through prayer, Bible study, and reflection. Ellen G. White emphasized the importance of daily devotion and the need to strengthen the spiritual bond between husband and wife, parent and child. Without this spiritual foundation, a home can easily be swayed by external pressures. Another major error that often goes unnoticed is the failure to address conflicts and unresolved issues within the home. In many cases, couples or families avoid dealing with tensions, allowing resentment, bitterness, and anger to fester. Ellen G. White wrote about the importance of open communication, forgiveness, and reconciliation. These are the pillars that support the health of any relationship. When families fail to practice these principles, the home becomes a place of strife and division, leaving it vulnerable to the control of external, negative influences. Furthermore, the error of allowing secular influences to take priority over spiritual ones can gradually take control of the home, Family members may spend more time on their devices, watching TV, or pursuing personal ambitions than they do connecting with each other or with God. This imbalance can weaken the spiritual health of the home, making it susceptible to all sorts of harmful influences that Satan can use to destroy it. Ellen G. White provided clear guidance on how to guard our homes from the invisible forces that seek to destroy them. The first step is to establish a strong spiritual foundation within the home. This begins with individual and family devotion, where prayer, Bible study, and worship become regular practices. A family that prays together and studies the Word of God together is one that builds a resilient foundation, capable of resisting the pressures and influences of the world. Another key practice is the cultivation of a home environment filled with love, respect, and understanding. Ellen G. White stressed that the home should be a place of refuge, where family members find support and strength in each other. This requires open communication, forgiveness, and a commitment to unity. Conflict is inevitable in any family, but how we handle it is what determines the health of our relationships. By addressing conflicts in a Christ-like manner and practicing forgiveness, families can prevent bitterness from taking root. Additionally, Ellen G. White warned against the subtle ways in which media and worldly influences can infiltrate the home. She advised families to be discerning about the content they allow into their homes, ensuring that it aligns with biblical principles. This includes not only television and movies, but also the influence of social media and digital devices. Families should set boundaries on screen time and make intentional efforts to foster face-to-face communication and connection. Finally, families must commit to building a home where Christ is the center. Ellen G. White spoke of the need to make Jesus the head of the home and to ensure that his principles guide the decisions made within it. When Christ is at the center of family life, the home becomes a fortress against the attacks of the enemy. The error that destroys your home often goes unnoticed until it is too late. It starts with small compromises, neglecting spiritual practices, allowing negative influences to creep in, and failing to address conflict. Over time, these small errors accumulate, creating a foundation that is weak and easily shaken. Ellen G. White, A.S. counsel remains as relevant today as ever. Families must guard their homes by prioritizing spiritual health and being vigilant against the subtle forces that seek to tear them apart. If we want our homes to stand firm in the face of life's challenges, we must build them on the solid rock of Jesus Christ. This means committing to daily prayer, Bible study, and living out Christian principles in every aspect of our lives. We must also foster open communication, mutual respect, and forgiveness within the family unit. By doing so, we create a home environment where love, peace, and unity can thrive. In a world where external influences can easily take control, it is essential that we recognize the invisible forces at work and take steps to protect our homes from them. With God at the center of our homes and our hearts, we can build a foundation that will withstand any storm and continue to stand strong for generations to come.